Welcome to PRAJNA SPARKS, a podcast where we listen to a Dharma talk, contemplate with our minds and in our hearts, and engage in guided meditation. In this episode, we're going to be exploring mind further. Every episode of PRAJNA SPARKS takes hours to plan, record, and edit. We ask that, if you haven't already, you give us some time today to like, subscribe, share, and review our podcast. Alongside your own practice, this is the best possible offering as it helps the Dharma reach new listeners.
As we continue to take a look at each of the four yogas of Mahamudra, we arrive at the fourth yoga, non-meditation. In our last episode, we looked at the third yoga, the yoga of one taste, and before that, the yoga of non-conceptuality. We've purposely not looked at the first yoga yet, which we'll cover in the next episode, because we like the juxtaposition of the fourth yoga, non-meditation, which is at heart full and complete enlightenment, the realization of the true nature of things just as they are, and in their intricate complexity, the level of Buddhahood. This is the supreme result of Mahamudra practice. It is also the cause of Mahamudra practice. Our own true nature of mind, our Buddha nature, prompts us to seek, prompts us to wish for happiness and freedom from suffering, what prompts us to engage the path, practice the Eightfold Noble Way, and ultimately move through the steps of intellectual understanding, meditative experience, and realization, refining that to its perfect and complete extent at the level of Buddhahood. So this fourth yoga, non-meditation, is pretty much everything. It's called non-meditation because even subtle ideas that divide our experience into meditation and meditator, observer and observed, etc., are now completely eradicated. In the true nature of things, there is no bifurcation of reality into an actor and an acted upon, an oppressor and an oppressed. Nevertheless, as we see every day, in empirical reality, we're surrounded by this. So non-meditation is pointing not only to a way of practicing, a way of being that goes beyond dualistic concepts of actor, action, and recipient, but it is the complete freedom to experience things just as they are, without labels, dualistic thinking, and other complications that are characteristic of samsara, getting in the way of our being truly, completely, freely our own nature, completely awake, completely devoid of karma, kleshas, and anything impeding mind's natural tranquility, bliss, wisdom, love, and compassion from going forward with immense beauty and power for the benefit of all beings. As the fourth of four yogas, it's not surprising that non-meditation is describing the result of the Mahamudra path. Just as with the previous two yogas we covered, the second and third, non-conceptuality and one taste, these are not just results. This is the beauty of paths like Mahamudra, Dzogchen, Vajrayana, Secret Mantra Path. These are called resultant vehicles, approaches that take the result as the path, that connect in here and now with all of these qualities of mind's true nature. The Yoga of Nonmeditation has different stages, but they all relate to realization. To get a sense of what that might be like, we have to use words and labels. These words and labels are inadequate. They do not fully describe the experience of Buddhahood. They're helpful to us in having some understanding of the path, the progress along that path, and also how these qualities inform our experience today on and off the cushion. So, initially in the Yoga of Nonmeditation, we are talking about a state where all sensory experiences become our meditation without any effort to apply recollection or vigilance or heedfulness or in any way cultivating a meditative state. We experience all sensory objects as meditation. Now be careful. We love to embellish our experience. That's one way of describing what samsara is. Laying over the reality of things a conceptual layer that is not actually present, a superimposition, an embellishment, an exaggeration. Drotok in Tibetan, which I love, means to stick a feather on it. We're not content with the true nature of things just as they are, so we stick a feather on it. We might embellish our experience with all kinds of fanciful words and ideas and concepts. We're only fooling ourselves if that's not actually the case. If we're not actually experiencing everything as like an illusion. Now, be careful there. It's not that everything is an illusion. It's like an illusion. What does that mean, like an illusion? It's like an illusion because it seems to be real, but when you scratch the surface, you recognize that's not the case. That's how we can experience it when we engage in even a little bit of analysis. In this initial stage of the Yoga of Nonmeditation, that experience is spontaneous. There's nothing we need to do. There's nothing we need to embellish. There's nothing we need to exaggerate. Experiences arise with the realization of their being illusion-like. Not just once in a while, not just in our imagination, not because we want to impress somebody, but because 24/7, 365, in a fluid, continuous way, sensory experiences arise in the display of illusion-like panoramas that we recognize to be just that. Nevertheless, there's still a slight, subtle clinging or grasping to that illusion-like experience at the initial stage. As we continue to develop in the Yoga of Nonmeditation, the intermediate stage arrives where even that clinging is gone. There is a continuous spontaneity, day and night, asleep, dreaming, or awake, that is a unity, a totality that is unbroken. We are never distracted, never wavering from that state of meditator, meditation, and meditation object being one, the same in essence. This is a realization. It takes quite some doing. Ultimately, even the subtle imprints, you might say the traces of any delusion, kleshas, and karma arise as wisdom. This is what is known in the lineage as mother and child clear light uniting. This is the final stage of non-meditation, the moment of attaining Buddhahood. There are many criteria for determining how this has happened, but at some point, we need to look at, well, how is this relevant for me now? These four yogas can guide us to the places where we recognize for ourselves we need some attention. Perhaps it's our recollection in our meditation practice, where we recollect that we are meditating. We do not waver from that interchange between the meditating mind and the support for the meditation that it undergoes. You can hear right there the mind, the support, and the act of meditating, what are called the three dimensions of an action. Even though ultimately the result is non-meditation, in our practice, we recognize that we are working with these three dimensions of an action because that's what samsaric mind does. You could say that what non-meditation teaches us, what a difference it makes to experience everything as a flow, incapable of being labeled, pinned down, minimized, and yet fully capable of being experienced in its moment by moment transience, its moment by moment dance. It teaches us the importance of mind's natural tranquility, which is anything but boring. Mind's natural tranquility is the ease of being with everything just as it is, with a measure of stillness and lucidity that is like the eye of the hurricane and heart of the chaos of samsaric experiences that we can engage in, interact with, and yet not be weighed down by. Mind's natural tranquility is shot through with lucidity, ease, and bliss. Precisely why we left the first yoga for last. This is what we begin to cultivate the very first time we sit down for any kind of Buddhist meditation practice, whatever lineage or tradition we follow. This is the basis of Buddhist practice, the shamatha in Sanskrit, Shivnee in Tibetan, tranquility or calm abiding, as it is commonly translated into English. These give us a sense of the sweetness of the liberated mind and the need for liberating insight and knowledge that allows us to be all that we are by nature. That liberating insight comes from listening, contemplating, and meditating, just like all of the Buddha's wisdom that we can take in, chew on, and digest until our very metabolism is driven by it. Even when at first, necessarily, these are concepts, labels, ideas that sometimes we get, sometimes we don't. Listening, contemplating, and meditating allows us to develop increasingly profound levels of understanding, first on a semantic level, then on an intellectual level, then on an experiential level, until reaching this level of realization, which in Mahamudra is called the final stage of the Yoga of Nonmeditation. Being as we are, without any embellishment, not sticking any feathers on it, free, unashamed, and effortlessly, naturally driven by love and compassion to use our power for the benefit of ourselves and others. This is the apex of the yoga of non-meditation. It all begins with sitting on a cushion, recollecting the mind on its object as we meditate. In other words, to go beyond meditator, meditated, and meditation, we take them up. We align with what we know the ultimate fruit will be, and in the moment, we express it, we refine it, we live it on the cushion and off the cushion, with the aid of the increasingly accurate, profound, and integrated understanding that comes from listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Buddha's teachings. Here are some quotes from the great masters of Mahamudra that you can use as starting points for your contemplation. The Kala Chakra Tantra states, because there's no specific object of meditation, no meditation or meditator, and no entity to be apprehended, meditation is devoid of mental image. By J. Gonsu. The yoga of one-pointedness is where we understand the mind. The yoga of non-conceptuality is where we understand the reality of emptiness. The yoga of one taste is where we understand the nature of phenomenal appearance. The yoga of non-meditation, that I do not understand. Jie Shang teaches us, when we attain the yoga of non-meditation, awareness no longer has any support. A real yogin has nothing to meditate on, so there's no meditator either. Savaripa says, anyone who attains realization no longer needs to be concerned with meditation or meditator. Just as we cannot imagine the sky to exist concretely, emptiness cannot be an object of meditation. Anyone who attains realization experiences unceasing bliss. All dualistic notions have blended into one, like water mixed with milk. J. Yangompa says, look closely and try to see the meditator and the object of meditation. Look closely in your awareness. There's no duality there. If you relax in that state, there will be bare awareness without manufacturing recollection. When that awareness is sustained, you meditate day and night.
This is Zopa and Yeshe for PRAJNA SPARKS. Be sure to join us every month on the new moon for fresh episodes. Stay tuned now for a guided meditation. Shivnee is our Tibetan singing bowl artist. Thanks for the generosity of giving us some time out of your day to like, subscribe, share, and review PRAJNA SPARKS. It really does help us to spread the gift of Dharma to new listeners. If you have any questions, contact us via email, Instagram, or Facebook. Check the episode notes for those links and for more resources on today's topic. Visit us on the web at prajnafire.com or follow us on Instagram and Facebook at PRAJNA SPARKS. Thank you for listening. May all beings benefit. Hello, friends. Welcome to this meditation on non-meditation. Paradoxical right from the start. Let's begin how we usually do, settling into our seat, taking our posture, becoming aware of the present moment, of all the energy, thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatever is going on, just taking brief stock of it, allowing it to be even as we come into the present moment and give ourselves a little bit of distance from our close, intense identification with it as me or mine. Settle into your body, onto your seat, being here now. To aid us in our meditation, we'll begin again with tranquility meditation, shamatha, to help establish this one-pointedness of mind that is uplifted, yet calm, alert, clear, and at ease. Take whatever meditation focal object feels appropriate for you, whether it's your breath, an imagined object, whatever it might be, using it as a focal anchor for your awareness so that we can get very precise, alert to our awareness, not in a tight way, but also not too loose where we lose the thread of it. Just resting one pointedly on the breath or whatever our focal object is for this meditation. So let's practice like that for a couple of minutes. Remaining in this calm, alert, clear, and steady state of mind, I'd like to say a word on context before we dive in. These aspects that we've been exploring, non-conceptuality, one taste, and today non-meditation, are vast and profound descriptions in the Mahamudra tradition of the subtle experiences and realizations occurring throughout the entirety of the path. Please don't mistake what we are doing here as the entirety of that intricate approach, or even an all-encompassing aspect of the meaning of the terms. This is more like an open window, where we get a brief glance of a beautiful world, different than anything we've imagined or what we have assumed we know about ourselves, about life, about our minds. These PRAJNA SPARKS episodes are simply to whet our appetite, sharpen our curiosity for the vast scope and magnitude of the Buddha's teachings available to us these days, with our great good fortune. With that caveat, let us turn now to non-meditation. Don't meditate. Don't not meditate. Rest naturally relaxed. Nothing to adopt, nothing to reject. This can be a lot more difficult than it seems. Interesting, isn't it? Pay attention to what you're discovering. What is it like to sit, not having to pursue or relinquish anything? Does mind grasp? Do we get worried or anxious? Do we feel a little lost? What is your experience, even just exploring gently in this way? The great Indian Mahasiddha Saraha on this aspect of non-meditation, says, our own natural condition has no origin. So how can we say there is anything to meditate upon? Don't entertain thoughts of meditation or something to meditate upon. These dualistic ways of thinking make you lose the enlightened mind. What is this non-meditation? How do we engage it? How can we even imagine it? Turning again to another great lineage master, Milarepa describes it in his Song of Profound Definitive Meaning sung on the snowy range in this way. When meditation is clear light river flow, there is no need to confine it to sessions and pray. Meditator and object refined until they're gone. This hard bone of meditation, it beats quite well. When meditation is clear light river flow, there is no need to confine it to sessions and breaks. Meditator and object, refined until they're gone. This heartbone of meditation, it beats quite well. If this has sparked confusion, identify what you are confused about. Get sharp and clear on that. And keep listening, contemplating, and meditating. If this has sparked some clarity, rest one-pointedly in it until it fades. And keep listening, contemplating, and meditating. If this has sparked awe, rejoice in the magnitude and sublimeness of the Buddha's teachings, which help us, guide us to discover our own true nature. Alalaho. We need to listen to oceans worth of teachings and integrate all of it into our minds, our hearts, our lives, our path through listening, contemplating, and meditating. The Buddha's time-proven technology for doing just that. This listening, contemplating, and meditating has come down to us throughout the ages, not just as a description, but utilized by various beings, helping them go from a state of confusion, yearning, searching, up to the very pinnacle of realizing their own true nature. Time and again it has been proven. Thank you for doing just that. Now, whatever goodness has come from this practice today, gather it all together, that we and all beings, just like us, may utilize the profound technology of the Buddha's path, this listening, contemplating, and meditating, to give rise in our own experience, in our own minds, the realization of mind's true nature, of reality just as it is, such that meditation becomes clear light river flow, and we never deviate from it, day or night, waking or sleeping, such that it becomes effortless as we tap into our own true nature. Thank you for all that you do and all that you are.